to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the NXT review. This is for the show of November 26th, 2024. And I just wanted to apologize for everybody getting to this late this week. I was going to record it yesterday after work, and I got not mandated so much, but they asked me to help with something at work, and I didn't get home until late, so I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday. So I'm doing the NXT review today. Just to give you guys an update, www.podcast.com or on Patreon at WWE Podcast or Apple or Spotify. And don't forget, we have paid options, so you don't have to listen to those pesky commercials. Pesky commercials are a necessity of life, but if you pay a little bit of money each month, then you'll be able to listen to us all for free. So just something to keep in mind for the future. So, let's talk about the NXT episode. Again, I say it was on 11/26/24 from the WWE Performance Center in Winter Park, Florida. As always, your commentators are Vic Joseph and Booker T, and your ring announcer is Mike Rome. So, this episode, I have to say overall, I would give it a B for sure. Like, it was a pretty good episode. There's a lot going on. Again, there was a lot of stuff that I don't particularly care for, and I'll get into that when I get there. But hopefully they can. It looks like they're finally moving past something. Which there's the whole tag. I guess I would say the whole tag team thing. All it is every week now, the last 3 or 4 weeks, ever since Philly or maybe Chicago, or St. Louis actually. The tag teams have just been beating the crap out of each other. Like, for what reason, I don't know. Like, they're like, oh, you need to make an impact. Well, if you've got 10 guys, 12 guys beating the crap out of each other in a group, nobody's making the impact. They're all just getting lost in the shuffle. They need to do a better job introducing us to who these groups are. I know that 2 of the guys are from Metaphor. I know that 2 of the guys are from the family. I know Hank and Tank only because, again, I said last week, their names rhyme. So the only reason why I know who they are. OTM, only because they're associated with Jada Parker, and I love Jada Parker. Yeah, that's it. That's all I know. And then, once again, and I'll say it again like I said it last week, then you have the tag team champions going in on the Iron Survivor Challenge. Like, why? Why are the tag team champions focusing on the Iron Survivor Challenge when they have tag team titles to defend? The whole thing is just weird. Like, I don't understand the point of the whole thing, and I feel like it's just making a mess of the tag team division. And then they announced this week that next week there's going to be a Battle Royal, Tag Team Battle Royal, and the winner of the Battle Royal is going to be the number 1 contenders and face Fraxium at Deadline. And again, I say, so you're rewarding bad behavior by letting them all beat the crap out of each other. The only difference is now if they throw each other off the top rope, they get the crack at a tag team title. The whole thing is weird. Again, the tag team division, they're trying to do more with less, and I get that, but it's just a muddled mess in NXT. I mean, I know all the tag team divisions are pretty a muddled mess right now, and all the shows, but NXT, like, NXT is the one I focus on because of the podcast. And don't get me wrong, I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown, I watch all the PLEs, obviously. But I've part of the podcast duties that I have. I focus on the NXT tag team division and or NXT in general, and it's just. I don't know. They're doing whatever they can in a 2-hour time span every week, and I understand that, and I respect that. But it just gets confusing. Anyway, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, happy Thanksgiving. I am recording this on Thanksgiving Day, and I am grateful for having this platform to be able to speak my mind as far as NXT goes. I'm thankful for Matt and everybody else on this podcast network for giving me the opportunity to do this every week. And Matt says he gets a lot of good feedback, which I'm very happy about. I kind of wish I got some feedback, just so, personal feedback to let me know what's going on. I do have, by the way, I do have a Twitter account. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I do send stupid posts every now and again to express my feelings on things that are going on, especially in the wrestling world. And it's at J_Gumaer, so at JAY_GUMAER. And I also am tagged into, if you're tagged into the WWE podcast Twitter feed, or X, whatever they call it now, you can find me there too. But I try to, whenever I do a post, I try to tag the WWE podcast, just so anybody that is a part of the WWE podcast that follows them can see it too as well. I think that's the way it works. I haven't used Twitter X in a long, long time, so I totally forgot how it works. So I'm just tagging and hashtagging people all the time. So hopefully people see it, because I want to try to build up a little bit. Yeah, if I can. It's not life and death if I don't. Back to the show. So the show starts off with a video package of the loss by Andre Chase last week, and what Ridge Holland did to him, and I talked all about that last week. I'm not going to get into it more than I just said. But then then after the video package is done, you hear the Chase U theme song, and it's like everybody's like excited. Oh yes, Chase U, blah blah blah. And by the way, if you follow Thea Hale's Instagram feed, she actually this week has been doing day 1 after Chase U, day 2 after Chase U. It's actually pretty interesting. It just talks about her life, but she's tying it in, which I thought was interesting. So Ridge Holland comes out, and everybody starts booing him. He gets into the ring, and all he says is, "I told you so." And Trick Williams, deadline, I'll be seeing you. That's it, and he walks out. That's all he did. Short and sweet, I guess. Ridge Holland's a beast. And is he going to give Trick Williams a run for his money? Yep, he is. Do I think Trick Williams is going to lose the title? No. For the same reason I've been saying it this whole time. Trick Williams is the face of the NXT on CW right now. Or as Trick Williams called it later in the show, the silver and black. And if you follow the NXT over the years, there's different time frames. And this time, before the CW was the gold and black, and now it's the silver and black. And basically, it's whatever the title looks like. So our first match of the night is Ethan Page and Axiom for the Iron Survivor qualifying match. This match was amazing. Again, if I say, I try to tell you guys, if there's ever one match you have to watch if you haven't seen it yet, this is the match. And the only thing that sucked about this match is commercials. This actually went over 3 segments. This match went over 3 segments. There was 2 commercial breaks, and it was a fabulous match. And at one point, I honestly thought, okay, Ethan Page is going to win. There's no way he can't. He's a former champion. He's Ethan Page. He's basically now next to Ridge Holland. He's like the top heel of the company, of the division. So this match was freaking phenomenal. It went back and forth over and over again, and Axiom is just so good. And I honestly think someday, in the next year or two, Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom are going to jump up. Hopefully as a tag team, because they need more tag teams. They need more tag teams in the main roster. But these two are phenomenal, and Axiom and Ethan Page was two differing styles, and it was just such a great match. And at the end, Wesley comes out and I'm sorry. So let me go back for a second. So Axiom goes for the golden ratio, but Page counters on the inside out lariat to pick up the victory. So after the match was over, there was a post-match interview with Sarah Schreiber, and Ethan Page says, "If you bet against All Legal, you will always lose money." He's the last guy anyone wanted to qualify for the Iron Survivor Challenge. And then Nathan Frazier cuts Page off, and Frazier says he's going to win because Page won't be able to catch up with him. Page called Axiom the driving force of the tag team, and Frazier disagrees with that notion. Then Wesley comes out and says that Page is playing mind games with Frazier. Wes thinks that he has the match on lock, and then Javon Evans comes out and joins the conversation. And basically says, Javon Evans says, I wonder how many times Wesley is going to be in the penalty box. And then, of course, the NXT Tag Team Division gets into a brawl outside the ring. Why? Because Nathan Frazier and Axiom happen to be in the ring, so I guess they decided they could bring them out and start beating the crap out of each other at the end of this match. I don't, it hasn't had nothing to do with what was going on in there. I'm getting sick of it. Stop. I'm happy next week is this, quote, battle royal that they're having, because I'm getting sick of the ongoing just beating the crap. And then finally something interesting happened as a result of this, but later on, which I'll talk about in a second. But, stop. Please just stop the insanity. Then we had, you head back to the ladies' locker room where Brindley Reese is talking to Sol Ruka, and she hopes that she wins the Iron Survivor Challenge match. By the way, if you look at the group of women that are in the match now, Sol Ruka is kind of the odd woman out. Lola reminds Stephanie that she assisted. Stephanie Vaquera is there, and Lola reminds Stephanie that she assisted with just make sure that Jada Parker didn't qualify. And then Ren Sinclair says it wasn't a wise choice for Lola to cost Jada another match after she smashed a brick over her head a few weeks ago. And then Lola said she challenged Ren Sinclair to a match. And the only weapon that she has that she's going to need is her two fists. So then we have Ashanti the Adonis, who was caught off guard by Nikita Lyons last week. He admits that there's something there with Carmen Petrovic, and Nikita wants reassurance from Ashanti that he is still interested in her. Carmen is done with Ashanti, but she is not going to deal with his games. So basically, she said, "Well, you texted me," to Ashanti. He goes, "Yeah, I texted you," and then Carmen Petrovic overheard and got pissy and walked away. So the second match of the night is Lola Vice versus Ren Sinclair. And Lola Vice wins this match with a spinning back fist to the face. It calls it the 305. The 305, she calls it, which is basically a spinning back fist. This was a glorified. I mean, Ren Sinclair's cool and all, with no quarter catch crew and everything. But at the end of the day, Lola Vice beat the crap out of her, and that's exactly what happened. After that match, we have Fatal Influence of JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and they're messing with Tatum Paxley's dolls in the backstage area. So Tatum Paxley's playing with a dollhouse and dolls, and one of the dolls has flaming red hair, which is important for later. And JC Jane and Jasmine Nix come out and start messing with the dolls, and then making fun of Paxley, and Paxley walks away. And then someone, and we can't tell who, grabs the doll with the red hair and picks it up and walks away. So, that's foreshadowing. Third match we have is the NXT North American Championship match between Tony D'Angelo and Shawn Spears. This was a decent match. Shawn Spears is always great, and Tony D'Angelo he does his thing like he always does. The end of the match, Tony D'Angelo goes for a back body drop and a roll up. Angelo connects with a spine buster to pick up the victory. And after the match, Angelo tees off on Brooks Jensen and Spears. And Nico, so then Nico, this guy Nico, who was apparently driving the car a few weeks ago, he comes out and lays out Tony D'Angelo. So, ultimately, again, the North American champion is Tony D'Angelo, and he wins via pinfall. Then we had a little vignette about Andre Chase and him wrapping up Chase University and how he's going to miss it. And, yeah, it was interesting. And we'll see what happens with Chase University moving forward. It's going to be an interesting thing. The fourth match is Julia versus Kalani Jordan. If you follow me on X, I said basically Kalani Jordan, unfortunately, Julia's gonna beat the crap out of her, and it was a lot more competitive match than I thought it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Kalani Jordan, but Julia is Julia, and at the end of the match, Julia hit a running knee strike and connect with the Northern Lights powerbomb to pick up the victory. So Julia is the next qualifier. By the way, that match, I forgot to mention, it was a qualifying match for the Iron Survivor Challenge. So Julia is the next woman to qualify for the Iron Survivor Challenge match. And so at this point, we have Stephanie, we have Julia, we have Sol Ruka, and shoot, I don't remember basically all the people there are brand new wrestlers to NXT except Sol Ruka, which I mean she's generally new but not crazy new. But all the other qualifiers came on later on, which I thought was interesting. Next, we have Ava announcing that next week on NXT there will be 2 last chance Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying Fatal 4-Way matches for both the men and the women. So basically, everyone that lost their match for the Iron Survivor qualifier is going to be going on a Fatal 4-Way match to determine the last entry, which I think is pretty cool. I always like the concept when they do this, when they have this like last chance thing going on. Because then, I mean, to be honest, why didn't you just announce that in the beginning? Like, hey, don't worry if you lose because you have one opportunity later on. I don't know. But anyway, I like the concept. It's a good concept. So all 4 members. So next week for each men's and women's division, all 4 losers of their matches are going to be able to go against each other for to determine who the last entry is. And there's 5 entries total. So, Lexus King says he's very grateful for this opportunity. So, I told you that next week, they announced the Tag Team Battle Royal, and the winners will face Axiom and Nathan Frazier at Deadline. So now Deadline, Nathan Frazier so far is in the Iron Survivor match. Now he's also going to have to defend the Tag Team title, so he's pulling double duty that night. Axiom still has a chance to be in the Iron Survivor Challenge if he wins the Fatal 4-Way, which he very well could. So potentially one or both of Fraxium is going to have to pull double duty that night. And by the way, they have to go against each other, potentially, in the Iron Survivor Challenge. While she's making this announcement, Eddie Thorpe tries to talk to Ava, and Ava's trying to walk away. Eddie Thorpe grabs her wrist, and she gets pissed and says, "Do not touch me." And the door slams on her and knocks her over. So she took a bump, basically. Which, is just like, oh no, I've fallen. After we get back from the break, though, Shawn Michaels is talking to Ava about what happened. She said, well, she was talking to Eddie Thorpe, and Shawn Michaels lit into Eddie Thorpe. Like, I almost thought he was going to give him sweet chin music. Like, and he told him to go home. He just started screaming at him. And so, we actually come back from the break. And Trick Williams, after that, Trick Williams is in the ring. And he says, and I thought this was interesting, he says, Ava's getting checked out, we hope she's okay, but knowing what bloodline she's from, I'm sure she'll be fine, or something to that extent. And if you don't know, Ava is The Rock's daughter, and obviously The Rock is part of the bloodline, and obviously then Ava is part of the bloodline too. So, FYI. In case you didn't know that. Now you do. So you got Trick Williams in the ring, and he starts to talk. He says, all right, NXT, let's talk about it. Medical is checking Ava. I told you that already. As we all saw last week, we may have seen the end of Chase U. I wasn't going to lie. I was looking around, and it was sad. I saw kids crying. I saw a lot of shock on faces, including myself. But when I looked up, I saw Ridge's face. There was pure evil grin on his face, a satisfaction, like he was proud of what he did. And that's when I knew, Ridge, you and me ain't the same. Because I came up in this business with some dogs who love NXT, who put it all on the line for NXT to become what it is today. I'm talking people like DIY, Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, Ilya Dragunov, and even people like Carmelo Hayes. But hey, even more importantly than that, people like Chase U. Everybody that's watching knows the names of the people who laid it all on the line for NXT to become what it is today. We built something special here at NXT, but Ridge, all you know is how to destroy things, and that's why I can't let you become NXT champion. I won't let you become NXT champion, because if I let you, Ridge, become NXT champ, everything we worked so hard to create, this black and silver brand, will die. Then Ridge Holland comes out and says, "Trick, trick, trick! Don't touch me." He tells the reps, "Don't touch me. You're damn right. It's going to die." And Trick, I don't care. With wherever I go, controversy always follows me. And then, randomly, from his home, wherever he lives, Eric Bischoff comes on the screen. Eric Bischoff. Like, why? I don't know. So Eric Bischoff says, whoa, guys, just hang on for 1 second. Now, Trick, you're right. Things have been very chaotic in NXT, and I really enjoy it. But next week, I want to get a closer look, because next week, I'm coming to NXT. Ridge, you want the NXT title so bad. Trick, you want to keep it right. Well, you're going to find out how bad. What makes you guys tick? And if you think tensions are high now, by the time I'm done, you guys are going to want to destroy each other at Deadline. Hell, maybe right there in the ring. See you next week. Okay, so randomly, first we have Bubba Ray Dudley involved in this back and forth with Trick and Ridge, and now apparently Eric Bischoff. Oh, and by the way, they also announced that X-Pac is going to show up too. Don't know why, but there he is. I just don't understand. Like, listen, I know people watch it for star power. Like, when that's why they try to bring out, old time stars and even current stars to try to boost up the ratings in this. And they're on the CW, so their ratings are already higher than most non-WWE brands. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting. So next week on NXT, Ren Sinclair will be in the Last Chance Fatal 4-Way match against Kalani Jordan, Cora Jade, and Jada Parker. And then again, I said X-Pac will be on the program as well. And so that should be a good match. Again, like Kalani, Cora, Jada, and even Ren to an extent. They all have great ability. I honestly think that, you know what? Gun to my head, I would say that Cora Jade is probably going to win that. To put a little weirdness between her and Roxanne Perez. That's what I think. That's just my own personal opinion. Then we have the main event, which is Fallon Henley against Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's North American Championship. For those of you that have listened before, you know I love Tatum Paxley. I love her character. She's great. I really like Fatal Influence. And this was a great match. I mean, this wasn't the match of the night. Ethan Page and Axiom was the match of the night by far. But this was a really good match. And of course, there was involvement with the rest of Fatal Influence. JC Jane and Jasmine Nix were both getting involved. They weren't actually touching Tatum Paxley, but they were, like doing the whole mean girl act outside the ring. And ultimately, Fallon Henley got the win via pinfall. So Tatum did not win the title. Fallon Henley is still your Women's North American champion. But after the match, Fatal Influence started to beat the crap out of Tatum Paxley together as a group. Well, when I say as a group, I mean more Fallon Henley and JC Jane. Jasmine Nix pretty much just danced around the outside. And, I mean, not dance, but was like, you go, whatever. It is what it is. And then all of a sudden, while Tatum Paxley is getting her butt whooped, Gigi Dolan's music hits. And everybody's looking at the entrance ramp. Where is she? Her face is all of her art is on the screen. And finally she shows up behind them all. And for those of you that don't know, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane were tag team champions together. And this was a couple of years ago. And so they have no love lost for each other. They've parted in very bad terms. And so Gigi Dolan just starts wailing on JC Jane, and then Tatum Paxley starts beating on Fallon Henley. So obviously we have a future tag team match here between the four of these ladies, and this will be great. Gigi Dolan's awesome. I actually, when I saw a live event a couple years, that was last year I think it was, she was actually one of the wrestlers on the main event show that they have. But she didn't get called up per se, but they are showcasing her, which I thought was really cool. I love Gigi Dolan. And her and Tatum Paxley are a great combination. So obviously, if you flash back to what I said before about the dollhouse, and then she was playing with one redheaded doll, and she actually said, I forgot, Tatum Paxley actually said to them, your chickens are going to come home to roost or something like that. And then there was a reference that Gigi beating up JC Jane was her chickens coming home to roost, essentially. So, like I said, overall, excuse me. Overall, it was a decent event. It was a decent show. I would say on a 50-50 scale, it was above average as far as weekly shows go. I mean, a couple weeks ago was horrendous. This was really good. Again, the Ethan Page Axiom match was phenomenal. You got to watch it. And there was a lot of moving forward. It was a lot of moving stories forward for Deadline, which is what you want in a weekly episodic show like the NXT show. You want us to move forward so that when we get to the premium live event, everything is built. And and I say this before, Shawn Michaels is doing a great job with exactly 2 hours. There's no overlap. Like TNT, TBS, USA, they all have the potential to go over a little bit. CW does not. 10 o'clock hits and it's time for the news. So they're doing a great job doing as much as they can in a short amount of time. Do some people get jobber entrances that shouldn't get jobber entrances? Yes. But you know what? I would rather have somebody already be in the ring and have a great match than see them come out to their music again, a la Roman Reigns for 6 minutes. Or Cody Rhodes for 12 minutes to come out to the ring and pound the, and then everybody say whoa twice. Just let's get to this. Let's get to the stuff. Do your talking. Do your match. Get it done. And I think that NXT is doing a great job at that. So, again, any comments or questions, let me know. I do apologize for getting this to you late, but it was a great time. And again, don't forget that after Deadline on December 7th, which is a week from Saturday, I am going to do Sunday morning. Excuse me. Sunday morning, I am going to do a review on Deadline. So keep that in mind. And if anybody has any thoughts, please leave them in the comments section. If not, I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much for all of your listening. I love the fact that we have people from all over the world listening to us. And I look forward to keep doing this for you. And again, very grateful to all of you and happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.